Here's the preview of the Stanford versus UConn women's basketball game. And I expect this to be an instant classic. Stanford is the 1 seed, UConn the 2 seed. Stanford averages 73.9 points per game while allowing 56.6, 42.1 rebounds per game while allowing 32.5, 15.3 assists per game while allowing 9.3, 13.5 turnovers per game while forcing 15.2, 8.5 steals per game, and 6.3 blocks per game. Some players to keep an eye on, like Cameron Brink, who's a 6'4" forward. That's a sophomore, 13.4 points per game. 13.4 points per game. Haley Jones, a 6'1" guard. That's a junior, 12.9 points per game. Lexi Hall is a 6'1" guard. That's a senior, 12.7 points per game. Hannah Jump, a 6' guard, a junior, 9.3 points per game. Fran Bellaby or Francesca Bellaby is a 6'1" forward. That's a junior, 7.9 points per game. Anna Wilson is a 5'9" guard. That's a senior, 4.8 points per game. Kiki Arafin is a 6'3" forward. That's a freshman, 4.3 points per game. Lacey Hall is a 6'1" guard. That's a senior, 4.3 points per game. And Ashton Pretchell is a 6'5" forward. That's a junior, 2.7 points per game. As for UConn averages 74.8 points per game while allowing 54.6. So very, very similar in numbers. 38.8 rebounds per game while allowing 31.5. It's 18.1 assists per game while allowing 10.6. 13.8 turnovers per game while forcing 16.3. 9.2 steals per game and 4.7 blocks per game. Some players to keep an eye on, like Kristen Williams, a 5'11" guard that's a senior, 14.7 points per game. Paige Beckers, obviously, who went off in the second half last game in both overtimes. A 5'11" guard that's a sophomore, 14.7 points per game. Azzy Fudds, a 5'11" guard that's a freshman, 12.7 points per game. Caroline Jucharmi is a 6'2" guard that's a freshman, 10.1 points per game. Olivia Nelson Adota is a 6'5" forward that's a senior, 9.4 points per game. Ivana Westbrook is a 6' guard that's a senior, 8.9 points per game. Aaliyah Edwards is a 6'3" forward sophomore, 77.8 points per game. Dorka Uhas, which is a 6'5" forward, a senior, 7.3 points per game. But the thing about Dorka is she injured her wrist last game in the first half. The biggest question is, will she be able to play in the Final Four period? It was a gruesome injury. Wouldn't be shocking if she's out for both games or this game and come back for the next if UConn wins, or she's out for the whole entire Final Four. We will wait and see on that. Nikki Mule is a 5'10" guard. It's a sophomore, 4 points per game. So, specifically, both teams need to avoid foul trouble as much as possible, in particular UConn, because if you're not going to have Dorka, you don't have a lot of quality front court depth. Of course, we don't know how the officiating is going to be called in the game. Granted, both teams defensively, you got to limit the shooters and contain the slashers and rebound the ball and limit fast break points, second chance points especially. And fast break, second chance, and points out turnovers. Obviously, UConn last game, they basically won because of the second chance points. They didn't allow a single point, I believe, against NC State. So that's a big thing. And, I mean, they scored a lot of second chance points. So it's vital for Stanford to do a better job than NC State did, obviously. Now, both teams offensively, you got to take care of the ball. You got to get some fast break points, second chance points, and points out turnovers, especially in a game like this. And you got to make your free throws count. UConn got fortunate that NC State made a lot of free throws, but they missed a few critical ones, just itty-bitty ones, and they just take good shots as well. I mean, for both teams, you got to get ball movement. I mean, like I said, foul trouble is going to be a potential issue for both teams. We will see. If I have to choose who wins I would say Stanford, but I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if UConn does win. I'm just saying that Stanford because I think they're a little bit better as a team. They're healthier than UConn right now. I mean, no Dorka Juhas potentially in the Final Four. That could smell trouble for UConn. But I'm not going to go out and say Stanford by a comfortable margin. Oh, no. I expect this to be within 5 points. 5 points or less. If it's a blowout by, more than 5 points, I would be shocked. But I know last time UConn played against somebody like this, not like NC State good. NC State is a lower tier compared to Stanford. But whenever they play South Carolina, they got blown out. But that was early on in the year. And that was before Paige Becker's injury anyway. And we'll see how Paige Beckers does in this game against Stanford because you got to admit, both teams match up pretty well with each other, but Stanford has a little bit more height. More quality height. A little more depth in the front court. 6'3". Some of those guards could play stretch 4 if they need to. So really, yeah, it's pretty much even across the board in terms of height. So it's, Olivia Nelson-Ododa, she's one of the best passing big post players in the country. But the main thing with her is foul trouble. Because if they're without her, that will hurt. And the same with Aaliyah Edwards. If they're both out due to foul trouble, that could smell trouble for UConn. Of course, you could say the same thing for Stanford on their key players as well. This is going to be a very tight game, I believe. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys later. Let's get me up to 400 subscribers or more by the end of this year.